The Director of the Department of the Air Force Defense Sensitive Support, Colonel Jason B. Constantine. The Commander, Headquarters Air Force Element Program Research Office, Lieutenant Colonel Allison Mendez. The Senior Enlisted Leader, Headquarters Air Force Element Program Resource Office, Senior Master Sergeant Chris Lanane. We would also like to welcome all friends, distinguished visitors, commanders, senior enlisted leaders, first sergeants, and coworkers that are in attendance today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Garcia.
So you don't have to follow the national anthem on the invocation. That was amazing.
There we go.
All right. Tissues. And who's got the bigger one? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Master and Linda Allen Hall, like they're somewhere. Thank you, Joint Base Andrews, Honor Guard for the posting of the colors, and Chief Park for the amazing invocation. I don't know where he went. And retired Senior Master Sergeant George Parker for the invocation. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Chief Park for the national anthem. It is great to see all of you. Thank you again, Master Sergeant Rosales, Master Sergeant Goodwin, and everyone else who has made this ceremony possible. Welcome, Steph, Layla, Braden, Ali, Ian, Madeline, John, Brentley, and Scarlett, Colonel Constantine, friends, co-workers, and everyone else here today. It is great to see so many familiar faces. Welcome and thank you for coming to help us commemorate and celebrate Senior Master Sergeant Leopold Ubungen's outstanding military career on his very important day as we close a big chapter in his life. Looking around the room made me realize what an amazing and interesting family the Air Force truly is. People from all different places with very diverse backgrounds, with their very own unique stories, all coming together and becoming a family, sometimes during unexpected circumstances such as deployments and TDYs. But eventually we fuse together as a family. We eventually also part ways and we don't see each other for months and years, much too long. But when we do see each other, such as these events, we get a big smile on our faces and it's like we never were apart. I'm not going to lie, you asked me to do this. I'm a little nervous and very anxious about this. The retirement ceremony is very special for a plethora of reasons, but for me personally, this is the most important one because of our friendship and the impact you had in my own career, in my own life. When he first reached out about the ceremony, I told him it wasn't even a question, that I will be there. I will travel from wherever I was to be present. And then it settled in that I had to do this and the pressure of it all. Senior Master Ubungen, I am honored and humbled that you asked me to be here. Thank you for it's an incredible privilege for me to stand here in this capacity and be the one closing your military career when you were the one at the beginning of my career and helped me start mine. Typically, it's somewhat of a tradition to poke fun at the member, roast the member a little bit, make fun of how long they served, how many years, how it was at the beginning, riding the dinosaur to work in the right fires.
That's a final mic, dude. Careful.
All right, I'll skip to the end then. The stories from now, the beginning of global war on terror, and all of it. But I try to keep it professional. The goal is to honor the military tradition that, as mentioned before, it has been incredible. You impacted so many lives. So, also, we want to highlight the sacrifice of the service members' families as well. Today is Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen's turn. No pressure. All right, quick question around the room. Who remember what they were doing October 3rd, 2000? Seems like a regular day, right? And what that was like for you. Writing this made me realize a lot of people will probably not get these jokes. They're too young, but here it goes. The year is 2000. not 2000 and just 2000.
New millennium, sir.
That's right. We're still recovering from the infamous Y2K. The computer bug that was going to kill all the computers, right? And crash everything. Skynet was going to take over. Terminator was going to take over, right? That's a story from Sarah O'Connor. Most of the internet still accesses via American Online with the high-pitched modems, right? Kind of sounds like tinnitus now, if you remember that. Pagers were still a thing. Remember that? The top hits at the time were Christina Aguilera, Come On Over Baby, Destiny Child, Independent Woman. Probably look it up. They're not around anymore, right? And Creed with Arms Wide Open. They're not around anymore. But that's coming a comeback, though. It's making a comeback. The top movies, I think they were already in color at the time. Meet the Parents, Remember the Titans, X-Men, the original, and Gladiator, a long time ago. We're old.
That's favorite movie, sir.
All right. People, Sexiest Men Alive, wasn't me. It was Brad Pitt. Sorry. Napster was still a thing. It was going strong. For the young ones, that's how we acquire music, right? And maybe a virus or two, but it was a thing. The Nokia cell phone was the phone to have, the brick. You could throw that phone through a wall and it would not break. The building would collapse before the phone broke. It was actually still a year out before the iPod was released, and 7 years before the original iPhone was released. So it's a long time ago. In that year Super Bowl, the St. Louis Rams, no longer in St. Louis, right? They moved. They beat the Tennessee Titans 23-16, and Kobe and Shaq were still friends, and they won the championship. In fact, it was Kobe's third year in the NBA. But on a more serious and somber, tragic note, it was also before the terrorist attack, September 11th. On that day, October 3rd, 2000, 18-year-old Lee traveled from Hawaii to Lackland Air Force Base, marking the beginning of his Air Force career. All right, full disclosure, one of the things we like to do is get records and evaluations, decorations from the member. I got them all here, and actually brown on paper twice, because it was so much.
Buy one, get one free, sir.
Should have done that. But in reality, his EPRs and evaluations were sold. They were actually in typewriters and wet signed. So actually, Canada, you had 10 versions of evals. Would have been 11 had you sent me the 2025, but you didn't.
I have it.
All right. So he completed basic military training at Lackland. After graduating from BMT, traveled down the road to tech school, still in Lackland, not too far. From there, he arrived at McChord Air Force Base, Washington, March 1st, 2001, as a new air transportation apprentice. He quickly learned the profession and excelled, and gained a reputation for getting the impossible done. The tough jobs, the difficult jobs that nobody wanted, he got it done. Soon after a terrorist attack on September 11, 2001 in New York, the Pentagon, and Pennsylvania, he quickly deployed to Escam Village, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and completed his career development course and upgrade training there. That's how young he was. Some of his other deployments from McChord were to Moran Air Base. That's a good one.
TDY, sir, TDY.
Fairford, UK, Constanta, Romania, Al Yassalim, Kuwait, Al-Tiqaidam, Iraq, and twice to Al-Udeid, Qatar. In addition to many short TDYs, exercises, and wonderful flyaways. It was here at McChord where I and many others had the privilege of meeting Tony Bunyan. I was a brand new 2T2 with more hair and less wrinkles than today, but more importantly, I was completely lost. I had no idea of the Air Force life and what I was supposed to do. I didn't even have my security clearance. You'll quickly realize how lost I was. Must have been the looks, how lost I was. And took me to mentor me and many others and show us the way. As you see this, there's a pattern with his career as well, throughout his career. I have to mention the deployment tempo on McChord was so high, in fact, that many other locations across the Air Force that during our time in McChord, I PCS to Korea for 2 years, and he didn't realize I was gone for those 2 years. He just thought that we were missing each other on TDYs and trips. So it was the reality of the Air Force at the time. However, I must say, out of all the incredible achievements and milestones at McCord, the most important one was starting his family. While at McCord, he married Steph, and they welcomed Layla and Brandon to the world. After leaving a lasting impression at now Joint Base Lewis McCord, he arrived at Pope Army Airfield and Fort Bragg in February of 2014. There he continued to lead teams, mentor airmen around his section, but also at Airman Leadership School, providing leadership perspective, answering questions, and helping forge the next generation of leaders. Additionally, that's when the Secret Squirrel stuff started. His evaluations kind of hide that a little bit. But it got heavy. He deployed critical teams, Air Force teams, Army teams, to every location with the necessary gear and equipment to take action and have strategic effects throughout the United States Central Command, European Command, and Africa Command area of responsibility. Basically, he was all over the place. It was during this assignment the family increased by one when they welcomed Alec. After cementing his legacy at Pope Army Airfield and Fort Bragg on September 2023, the family traveled to the National Capital Region. Here, Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen continued to have a strategic impact around the world, deploying special warfare airmen, cargo, equipment, and traveling to many exotic locations. Additionally, he continued to mentor and engage with young future leaders as he interacted with them, including during their critical time while at Airman Leadership School. And just a few moments ago, he was in the back talking to the honor guard before we started, just talking to them, giving tips, pointers, and that's the kind of leader that he is. One of the questions I asked Yubi that I saw in his evaluations time and time again is how many days, how many times have you actually deployed? As GP mentioned, it was almost 6 years. So let that settle in. Almost over 2,000 years. If we take that simple figure, the math, it runs out to about almost 6 years. I had to use a calculator. I couldn't do it in my own brain. But realize for a moment how long that is, away from your family, your friends, from home, missing milestones, many firsts, and home events away from home. And as we know, thanks to Mr. Murphy and his ridiculous law, all things happen when you're gone. All the bad things happen. Things break, things like that. It's a big sacrifice, not just on the service member, but also on the family. Steph, I know Yubi. I know he couldn't do it by himself. I know you're the bedrock of the family, so thank you for that. Also knowing Yubi, and I was reading his evaluations, 2 words kept coming to mind: servant leadership. And I'm most sure all of you are familiar with it, but for those who don't, in simplified terms, it's a philosophy and leadership style where the leader prioritizes others ahead of himself or herself. Then it was in one of the evaluations, one of his most recent evaluations, this is a quote because I'm not this eloquent, as you could tell, from Major at the time, Knudsen. He wrote, quote, "Lee truly embodies servant leadership. He continually mentors, develops NCOs, CGOs across the group," unquote. And interestingly, and accurately also, the next evaluation from Colonel Constantine mentioned, quote, "Lee is a servant leader. His steadfast leadership has been instrumental for the unit's positive culture. His passion for people and leading them resulted in 2 MatchCom annual awards, 2 wing awards, and 2 career field wins. He is a chief wearing senior stripes," unquote. That pretty much summarizes Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen's career very well. Always putting others ahead of himself. Thank you for taking the time and effort to lead, engage, mentor, guide, support, and uplift all individuals around you, sometimes complete strangers, such as myself, to make sure they are successful in their Air Force career, but also in life. I have to say thank you for making it impossible to highlight your whole career, because you have a lot of records and they're all amazing. It was tough, I'm not going to lie. I lost track of how many times you were coined, how many times you were recognized during inspections, flyaways, PAYs, events. How many awards you won are all different levels. As astounding as those individual achievements are, and rightfully so, I know for you personally, it was always most important and dear to your heart to recognize those around you, those you led, those you mentor. Their awards, achievements, milestones, growth meant more to you than your own individual awards. That is just who you are, taking care of the people before yourself. So how can we capture 25 years of honorable service? Is it the evaluation reports, the statements, the strats, the outstanding performers, accolades, letters of appreciation, decorations, a shadow box, a retirement pin? I believe it's more impactful and significant than that, more meaningful. You have left long-lasting impressions on the legacy that you leave behind and the positive impact you had around those around you. Thank you for such an incredible legacy. I must acknowledge that as good as he is, he did not do it by himself. There is always a support team behind the service member, and often they do not receive the credit and recognition they rightfully have earned. The support team also joins the Air Force family, in a way, sometimes without a choice to do so. Sometimes they're born into it. I would be remiss if I did not recognize the commitment and sacrifice family members make each and every day to support a service member and the Air Force and the nation. Steph, thank you for holding down the fort and the family and making the magic happen. During the many exercises, countless deployments, multiple family moves, the unexpected long hours at work due to mission emergencies, and so forth. In a way, families too follow the Air Force core value of service before self. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Brady. And thank you, Ali, as long as you are. For your unofficial service and your sacrifice, thank you for all you have done for UB, the Air Force, and our nation. I know UB is a little broke now, although the Air Force, the VA will say that it's not service-connected, but I assure you it is. But hopefully he's not too broke to enjoy the next chapter with all of you. Thank you for letting us borrow him selfishly, and in so doing, making all of us better. Senior Master Sergeant Lee Ubungen, as a citizen of a grateful nation, thank you for your service protecting and defending our country. And as an American Airman, thank you for your selfless dedication, leadership, and mentorship. I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I know that you have done for me. And I can promise you all others share the same sentiment. Thank you for your service and congratulations on your retirement. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the medal presentation, followed by the reading of the retirement order.
Publish the order.
This is to certify that the Meritorious Service Medal First Oak Leaf Cluster is presented to Senior Master Sergeant Lee Paul S. Ubungen for meritorious service 11 September 2023 to 30 September 2025. Senior Master Sergeant Lee Paul S. Ubungen distinguished himself by meritorious service as Senior Enlisted Leader, Detachment 1, Air Force Element Program Resource Office, Joint Base Anacostia Bowling, Washington, District of Columbia. During this period, Sergeant Ubungen led 64 personnel spanning 17 Air Force specialty codes across 13 geographically separated units. He championed the development of a strategically aligned enlisted force by managing personnel authorizations, career vectoring, and recognition programs for a highly selectively manned unit. His strategic vision facilitated seamless collaboration with the Department of the State and non-defense federal departments and agencies, successfully executing airlift operations supporting over 200 U.S. embassies and consulates, delivering 2 million pounds of classified cargo in support of global U.S. diplomatic efforts. Finally, a catalyst for excellence, Sergeant Ubungen's leadership culture yielded 4 wing level and 2 major command annual awards, solidifying the unit's reputation across the enterprise. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen culminate a long and distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Signed, Jason B. Constantine, Colonel, United States Air Force, Director, Department of the Air Force Defense Sensitive Support. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number Alpha Charlie 000328. Senior Master Sergeant Lee Paul S. Ubungen, you are relieved from active duty effective 1 October 2025 per Air Force Instruction 36-3203 in the grade of Senior Master Sergeant. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Garcia will present the Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. Everyone but y'all. This is to certify that Senior Master Sergeant Lee Paul S. Ubungen has served faithfully and honorably, was retired on the first day of October 2025, signed Colonel Jason B. Constantine, Director, Department of the Air Force Defense Sensitive Support, Pentagon, and General David W. Allen, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. We'll now be presenting the Certificate of Appreciation from the Commander-in-Chief. It reads, Senior Master Sergeant Lee Paul S. Ubungen, I extend my personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation to you for your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embodied the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. And now we will be presenting the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, David A. Flossie. This reads, Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen, I am proud to join your friends and family in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. The achievements and contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core values of our great service. Your retirement is well-deserved, but your selfless contributions will be sorely missed. On behalf of all the airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes and a new one begins, I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Signed, David A. Flossie, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. No, you didn't stay. You stay.
I didn't rehearse, I'm sorry.
Every retiree receives a retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. At this time, will Mrs. Ubungen come forward to present the retirement pin? Mrs. Ubungen, please place this pin on your husband's lapel to symbolize his transition from active duty to retired service. With the appreciation for the United States Air Force, signed by Colonel Jason B. Constantine, Director, Department of the Air Force, Defense Sensitive Support, Pentagon, and General David W. Alvin, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. At this time, we invite Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen's children to come forward for a special presentation. Lieutenant Colonel Garcia will present Lila, Braden, and Allie with a certificate of appreciation from the Director, Department of the Air Force, Defense Sensitive Support, Colonel Jason B. Constantine. Dear Lila, Braden, and Allie, as your father retires from the United States Air Force, it is with great pride that I express to you the deep appreciation of the Department of the Defense for the love and support that you have provided as children of America's airmen. Your father's tremendous professional success truly represents or reflects the strength that you have given him over the years. Your courage and love have enabled him to serve our country with courage, honor, and pride. As your father takes his place on the retired list of the United States Air Force, you can be very proud of his many accomplishments and take satisfaction in knowing that you have served our country in a manner that has reflected great credit upon yourself and the United States Air Force. Signed, Colonel Jason B. Constantine, Director, Department of the Air Force, Defense Sensitive Support, Pentagon, Washington, D.C. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Garcia, Lila, Braden, and Allie. Please be seated. At this time, Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen will present a gift to his wife and children. Layla, Braden, and Allie, please come forward again to join your dad.
No, you're not getting money, man. Come on.
I was like, it's those ones. Don't put me in a picture, please. Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen is presenting the military child certificate. This reads, the child does not wear a uniform, yet they serve this country. They do not acquire ribbons showing where they've been, yet they go. They do not ask for the duty they perform, yet they unwaveringly serve to their best ability. They serve, yet are not honored with trinkets or pieces of cloth displaying their service. Throughout the years of your life, you have made many sacrifices and served your country. As much as I have done, you quietly shouldered the heavy burden that you are asked to carry. Most of the time, you could not understand why I was not there, but you quietly hid your tears, courageously put on a smile, and defiantly promised that you would support me. You were then, as now, one of the most important parts of my life, and it was your love that assured me that what I was doing was important. You had to say goodbye to friends when we moved throughout the years, and you had to change schools. I missed so many holidays and countless special occasions. Your resilience and self-confidence throughout those frequent moves gave me strength. I am so proud of you, for it was your love and support that sustained me in those difficult times. I could not have been successful in the military without your support, your understanding, and most importantly, your unquestionable love. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you, Lila, Braden, and Allie. You may be seated. Mrs. Ubungen, please come forward to share your hand. Sergeant Ubungen will now present the Military Spouse Medal to his wife. This reads, the spouse does not wear a uniform, yet they serve their country. They do not acquire nor wear ribbons showing where they have been, yet they go. They do not ask for the duty they perform, yet they unwaveringly serve to the best of their ability. They serve, yet are not honored with trinkets or pieces of cloth, showing their service. The burning candle signifies the lonely nights you have spent and that you kept the home fire burning, a symbol with no beginning and no end. The ring around the candle flame symbolizes the undying flame of your love for your spouse. The image of a rose for the unwavering devotion you have shown for your spouse and their service to their country. This medal is gratefully given to those that do not ask, those that stay on the home front so that their spouse can serve, for they also proudly serve their country. Ubungen. For those of you that also have gift presentations, we're going to hold that to the reception. Okay, thanks. At this time, we will honor Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen with the flag holding ceremony. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and the inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States to be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 white stars in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and the design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represents the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white signifies purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally, a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans, both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we, as Americans, enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are, it stands for the freedom we all share, and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave.
Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen, on behalf of your unit, your friends, and your family, I present to you this flag for your faithful 25 years of service to the United States Air Force. Thank you, sir.
Senior Master Sergeant Benjamin, can you please come forward? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Senior Master Sergeant Lee Paul S. Ubungen, United States Air Force, retired.
Check if it's 3:30 yet. But that's the thing. Woo. Good time. Woo. All right. I need some participation here, okay? Well, thank you guys so much for being here. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start getting emotional, and yes, waterworks is coming. That's the splash zone right there. I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to the incredible honor guard from Joint Base Andrews. Thank you for adding such professionalism and dignity to today's ceremony. To Chief Master Sergeant Park from the U.S. Air Force Band Singing Sergeants, your rendition of the national anthem was absolutely beautiful. I couldn't ask for a better start to this special day. To GP, Mr. Parker, thank you for such a heartfelt invocation. Hard to believe it's been over 20 years, man, since we met at 1422 Union Avenue, Cargo Warehouse, over at McCord. All right. Shit's hard. Whoa. Kick earmuffs, please, okay? All right. To my teammates at Del 1, Joey, Justin, Matt, John, Kevin, and the Joshes. Yeah, we got rid of 2 Kevins, but we got 2 Joshes now. Thank you for handling all the moving parts behind the scenes, pulling off an event like this, time, patience, and group chat of last-minute add-ons and changes. I truly appreciate everything you guys did. Thank you. Special thanks to John and Kevin, Master Sergeant Rosales, Master Sergeant Goodwin, Thank you for stepping up, even if you just got voluntold by me. You took the reins as project officers and made the ceremony something I'll always remember. Thank you guys so much. Linda, listen, Linda, that's on alcohol. Thank you for your creativity and for somehow turning a bar napkin scribbles from our projos into a solid ceremony script. You helped set the tone for us for a day I'll never forget. To all our guests, thank you so much for attending. All right, back when I was a young tech sergeant, I was once told by my supervisor, or I once told my supervisor, man, I ain't doing no retirement ceremony. That's the PG version. You know me, you know how that shit came out, right? I had just come back from someone else's and thought, man, not for me. That's when an old supervisor, with a grin and a little sprinkle of wisdom, pulled me aside and said, retirement ceremonies aren't really for you. They're for the people who help you get here. All right?
Okay.
All right. Woo. It's like about to put a pallet, man. All right. It's a moment to pause, reflect, and most importantly, to say thank you to your family, friends, your teammates, and mentors. Because no one crosses the finish line in this career alone. That perspective changed everything for me. From then on, retirement ceremonies became one of my favorite events. There's something powerful about them. A mix of joy, pride, nostalgia, a healthy dose of crying. But above all, they're overflowing with gratitude from the retiree to the people who made the journey possible. All right, so before I dive into the emotional thank yous, I want to share how this Filipino kid from Hawaii somehow found his way to the world's greatest Air Force and ended up working alongside with the hardest hitting, knuckle dragging, slinging, chains pushing pallets port dogs. All right. Supporting the brightest intelligence officers and the most fearless special operators this country has ever produced. All right. Back in 2000, thanks, Chief. All right after meeting with my Air Force recruiter, he told me I'd be shipping out to basic training on October 3rd, 2000. I asked him, so what job am I getting? All right, I need participation here, all right? With total confidence, he said, well, since you scored high on the mechanical portion of the ASVAB, you'll go in as an open mechanic. The setup is coming, all right?
6 years or 5 years.
You'll take your job in basic. That sounded simple enough, right? When it came to choose, Air Transportation Apprentice, or 2T2, was at the top of my list. And let me tell you why. You guys probably know this stuff. All right, number one, tech school is a nice, short 5 weeks. Sign me up. All right. Number two, it's one of the few jobs on your colorblind approved list. Colorblind, raise it up. I know there's a bunch of y'all out there. All right, number three, you washed out and didn't make the cut of your original job. Sorry, Cho. Love you, brother. I know you out here, brother. All right. I know there's more, but I just got one because we're in time crunch. Or you're just trying to get that sweet dental coverage to fix your front teeth. Shout out Pasadena! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. That's true story, by the way. So here it is. My first heartfelt thank you goes to the 2T2 career field. My poor dog. It has been an absolute privilege to wear the air transportation badge and be called a port dog. Last 10 years, working by the Green Door, I've had the honor of serving with incredible professionals across many FSCs. But none match the grit, pride, and brother and sisterhood of the port dogs. Our career field was one of the most heavily deployed FSCs during the height of operations our right to freedom and enduring freedom. Despite a relentless ops tempo, we never broke. We just kept grinding. No matter where the mission took us, we worked hard, and let's be honest, we played even harder. I'll genuinely miss the Air Trans Summits, EDT, dog calls, and just sharing time and laughs with my fellow port dogs, a bond like no other. All right. As much as I always be a port dog at heart, life has a way of taking you on a new, unexpected missions. Fast forward to 2023, I found myself in one of the most unique and rewarding chapters of my career, serving a selectively manned unit supporting some of the most critical national security missions. It's a different pace, a different mission, a whole new kind of challenge, but one that has pushed me to grow in ways I never expected. It was here that I made peace with a personal milestone. This would be my final stop in the Air Force. And just like in any chapter before, I've been fortunate to serve alongside a team that reminds me every day why service still matters. Colonel Constantine, the teams at PSD, AFI Pro, thank you for your unwavering oversight and support across all the detachments, especially Troublemaker Det 1. Your leadership made an impact where it mattered. To the past, present members of Det 1, Ben, Brian, K2, Derek, Joey, Justin, John, Matt, OGK, Johnson, Gaines, thank you guys for your dedication, teamwork, and loyalty. It's been a privilege to serve shoulder to shoulder with each of you. To my predecessor, George Parker, thank you for trusting me with this role and for building a phenomenal team and culture that was privileged to inherit. You've always been an inspiration, a winner in my book. From our army days, grinding out at McCord, to where we are now, I'm grateful our paths crossed. I don't even know your name, bro. Lenane, Chris Austin, one of them. Brother, thank you for everything you poured in this unit. You genuinely cared about the people, and it showed. Every decision you made. I'll miss our East Coast nighttime, West Coast afternoon syncs. Even in half of your cell signal it gets cut off while you're driving past Murder Mountain, Cali. I knew you and Caroline, the kids, have a bright future ahead, and I'm wishing you all nothing but the best and happiness, bro. Before this final assignment, I had the distinct honor of serving with one of the most elite and demanding organizations in the Air Force, 724 Special Tactics Group. That chapter was unlike any other, but like every other assignment, it was the people who made it unforgettable. Oh, shoot, here we go. I had the privilege of working alongside some of the most talented, motivated, sharp young NCOs I've ever encountered. These professionals were tasked with providing unwavering support to special warfare airmen, all while developing themselves into the next generations of leaders. My time with the A4 Directorate was a career highlight. I was fortunate enough to not only be a small part of the operations, but also help shape, mentor, and invest in a remarkable group of individuals. People like Josh Foley, Kyle Sabina, Roney, Ryan Ramos, Chris Warren, Andrew, John Kelly, just to name a few. This team supported a unit decorated with Medal of Honor, Air Force Cross, Silver Star, Bronze Star recipients. Every day, they walked among giants and still showed up ready to perform under extreme pressure with professionalism and pride. That environment taught me the true meaning of commitment, not just to mission, but to people. A huge shout out to the squadron directorate leadership at that time, KZ, Sap, Cade, Elliot, and Dylan. You guys were the glue that held the unit together, even though its most challenging moments. I'm forever grateful for the time we shared and the example you set. And while the mission mentorship were incredibly fulfilling, what I'll never forget and always miss is the camaraderie. Whether it was the legendary boot in and boot out events in ALOC, which may or may not traumatize my kids after watching me chug 6 beers under 2 minutes. The infamous casting couch session with the NCOs. Let me see when I was this shit. Those moments were more than laughs. They were about building trust, learning from one another, and growing together, both personally and professionally. Those memories and those relationships were absolutely a highlight of my career. Whew. Before joining the Special Tactics, I had the opportunity to serve with the 1st Joint Special Operations Air Component. A challenging and rewarding assignment that left a lasting impact on my career. The mission was fast-paced, the environment was demanding and constantly shifting, and the expectations were high, but so was the caliber of people I had the privilege to serve alongside. That assignment helped me shape how I viewed leadership, sacrifice, and the true meaning of service. I had the great privilege of learning from the 2 of the command's finest. I'll give you a hint. They're both short, bald, and the life of the party. But before I reveal their names, I need to recognize someone who played a pivotal role in getting me into the green door in the first place. All right, Rob Rothenberger, where you at, bro? Yes, sir. After I augmented the command during the deployment to Bagram, Rob called me and asked if I wanted to assess for a permanent position. I gave him several firm no's, maybe a couple GFYs, and eventually a reluctant yes. I didn't realize it at that time, but that decision would become a turning point in my career. Rob, I'm forever grateful that you didn't give up on me. Though to this day, I'm not sure if you saw something in me or you guys were just desperate for Manny, man. Trust me, we know the feeling. But once I joined the command, I quickly learned the real meaning of service and sacrifice. Long hours, nights, weekends, 24/7 recalls, and last-minute deployments became the norm. I thought they were lying when they said this. No, they weren't lying. This shit was real. But I was surrounded by an all-star lineup in the shop. Hatch, Bama, Micah, Greg, Carl, Darian, Tim, Jeff, Manny, and Pat, just to name a few. Just professional, weren't just good. They were exceptional. I was just trying to keep up. Now back to those 2 legends. Let's start with age before beauty. Shan Hinkle, AKA Bama. You know you made a mark when you're known across the command in your career field by a single name, brother. He's not just a phenomenal port dog, he's a definition of a servant leader. In 2011, Tommy Hatch and I were tasked to deploy with the command from McCord. Before heading out, we attended a staff integration seminar at Fort Bragg, where we first met Master Sergeant Hinkle, our sponsor. You can just imagine the fear. The same week, the Tech Sergeant promotion list came out, and I was shocked to see my name on it. I thought that shit was a mistake. Without hesitation, Bama gave us a lawful order to celebrate that night. But that's not why I admire him. On our way to dinner, I got a call from a friend at McCord who congratulated me and also shared that he missed promotion by a few points, and believed he was missing a decoration from a previous deployment. Bama overheard the conversation, started digging the issue, and a few months later, a decoration was processed. Same airman made the supplemental list. That's leadership without spotlight. True, quiet professional, bro. My PC. Second legend, Tommy motherfucking Hatch. Sorry, kids. All right. He's the embodiment of service before self. I remember when he had just wrapped up an op overseas and getting ready to redeploy home, only to find out 2 missions were spinning up. I was already scheduled for one, so I was like, bro, I can't help you. But we didn't have a second body for the other. Tommy was slated for a long overdue leave already paid for a Disney trip with his family. Instead, he calls his wife Crystal, asks her to pack a new set of bags and gear and drop it off at Red Ramp. And there goes Crystal and the kids to Disney without him. No complaints. He knew what was at stake and made the sacrifice without hesitation.
They had a great time.
Stay firm. Fast forward a few years later, we had this young cat, well, not so young, Staff Sergeant Micah Hallman, augmenting in Germany. The role is high pressure, typically reserved for a more tech sergeant, master sergeant type. But Micah crushed it. Tommy, recognizing his performance, went straight to our senior enlisted to advocate on his behalf. That conversation led to leadership dialogue and eventually to a promotion statement. Shortly after, Micah earned his next stripe. And then we hired him. That's the kind of leader Tommy is, always lifting others, even when no one's looking. I'm a fucking water, Dick. Hold on. It's getting deep, I'm sorry. This two-man Batman hatch were with me through some of the most defining moments of my career. Saw me at my best, and they saw me at my lowest point when leadership doubted me because I did not fit a certain mold. They stuck with me and had my back, and I'm forever grateful, boys. I have no doubt without them by my side, I would have failed, and at what was easily my toughest assignment. I owe them more than I can put into words. As I reflect on many leaders who shaped my career, I'd be doing myself a disservice if I didn't take a moment to recognize today's presiding official, not just because he's sitting a few feet away, but because he's genuinely someone I've come to respect, admire, and call a lifelong friend. Chi-Chi, I'm incredibly proud of your journey you've taken. From a knuckle dragging 2T2 at McCord to a squadron commander, and now a deputy chief of security at an embassy. I can trust you with that. Yes, sir. You've come a long way since almost drowning in your own sweat with your gas mask during Ora in Alpena, Michigan, buddy. True story. That's facts. We've been tight since the McCord days, bro. So close that Steph and I made you Layla's godfather. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you still owe her a few years worth of Christmas presents. We're collecting. You know, one of my biggest regrets is not being there to attend your commissioning and render you your first salute. But today, I have the honor of offering you my final salute. And having you preside over my retirement ceremony is really surreal. Thank you for being here and sharing this milestone with me and my family. It means more than I can say. Woo! All right, here it goes. Splash it on my chat. All right. Of all the people who stood by me throughout the journey, none have been more constant than my family, especially my brother Ian and sister Madeline. You've both been in my corner since day one, long before uniforms, deployment, and PCS moves. Through every chapter of my life, you've shown up with encouragement, laughter, and support, not just for me, but for Steph and the kids also. Whether it was a call at the right moment, showing up when it mattered most, or simply being there, even from a distance, your presence has meant the world to me. And yes, while it's a common knowledge that I'm a favorite child, I don't make the rules, I just benefit from them. I know that Pa has always loved us deeply. I'm proud to be your brother and incredibly grateful for the role you've played in shaping the man I've become. And speaking of family, it's only fitting that a few days ago was Father's Day, because today I get to honor the man who has been one of my greatest influences. Role models, supporters throughout my entire life, my hero, my dad. the one that taught me the meaning of hard work, sacrifice, integrity long before I ever wore the uniform. And so much who I am today started with the example he has set. I love you, Pops. I look forward to seeing you in a few months. Now, if there's one role that I cherish more than being a senior NCO, it's being a dad. And that journey began with our first blessing, my princess, my first daughter, Layla. She's been by my side through nearly every chapter of this military life, and watching her grow, the young woman she is today, has truly been one of my greatest honor. Layla, I'm so incredibly proud of you. You're smart, beautiful, and fierce. And just like Mom says, you're basically my carbon copy when it comes to your driving mannerism, for better or worse. I know you've been working hard to find your hard horse, and I promise we'll get there. Until then, stay focused on your studies, commit to your riding, and keep being the amazing person you are. I love you, and I'm proud to be your dad. And then came my little buddy, Braden. From the moment you arrived, you brought a whole new kind of energy, joy, and personality into our lives. I guess that are as boys, I guess. Being your dad has been an adventure, one filled with laughter, surprises, and so much pride. You're incredibly talented, whether it's building Lego sets, solving puzzles at a young age, playing the saxophone, crushing Rubik's Cube in under 30 seconds, owning a pitcher's mound with confidence and skill. But what makes me proudest isn't what you can do, it's who you are, buddy. You're kind, gentle, genuine, and loving to everyone around you. That's a rare gift. And it says everything about your character. Never lose that heart, Braden. Keep working hard, stay committed to your craft, and I know you'll be unstoppable. I love you, buddy. And now to our little Alessandra. Allie, Mom says you're her favorite, so you've already got that going for you. I love watching you work your puzzles, and I'm even more impressed when you redo them without using picture because they're too easy. That sharp little brain of yours is something special. Your unique blend of your big sister and big brother. Equal parts sweet, clever, competitive, and just the right amount of chaos. That makes you one of a kind, and I wouldn't change a thing. Keep working hard in your swimming and riding. Although, if I'm being honest, a tiny part of me hopes you fall out of love with your riding. Just so we don't have to buy you a horse. I love you, Allie. Stay curious, stay kind, and never stop being you. Woo. All right, I'm gonna water first. All right, and now I want to recognize the person who has carried more than her share of this journey. The one who stood quietly behind every success, who weathered every deployment, every late night, every hard goodbye, and every homecoming with grace and strength. Now, my wife, Steph. Love you. You are the heart of our family, the steady hand that held it all together when everything felt like it was pulling apart. The one who bore the weight of my absence, who kept life going for our kids, and who never once asked for credit. Maybe a little. Even though you deserve it all and more. They say being a military spouse is the hardest job in the military. And I believe that with my whole heart, because nothing can prepare you for it. No tech school, no guidebook, no training. It's all on-the-job training. Sink or swim, drink from the fire hose chaos, and somehow you handled it with kind courage and resilience that humbles me to this day. You didn't just hold down the home front while I was gone. You built a life for our children, pursued your own career as a nurse, and gave everything yourself without ever asking for anything in return. I know there were times when you felt unseen and underappreciated, but please know this, you were never unnoticed. I love you. Everything I've achieved, everything I've become has been possible because of you. You are the reason I could serve as long as I have, 25 years. and the reason I could come home with purpose and pride. You are my greatest honor, my truest partner, the love of my life. I love you, and I'm ready for our next chapter. Whew. All right, so it's done. As I close this chapter of my life, I do so with a full heart. This past 25 years have given me more than I could ever imagine. Purpose, pride, lifelong friendships, and unforgettable memories. But more than anything, they've given me the chance to serve something greater than myself. To every teammate, mentor, leader, and friend, thank you for standing beside me. To my family, thank you for standing behind me. To my wife and children, thank you for being my reason and my strength. It has been an honor of my life to wear this uniform. I kid you not. And now I look forward to the next mission, the one where I get to serve as a full-time husband, father, and hopefully someone who doesn't have to wake up at 0:30 anymore. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. My heart is full. Bye, Felicia. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the Headquarters Air Force Element Program Resource Office are proud to have served with Senior Master Sergeant Ubungen. We wish him and his family every success in their future endeavors. Please join the Ubungen family at Cooper Mill down the street for a reception immediately following the ceremony. It's kind of like around 15:30 because they got to take pictures. Please rise for the singing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Off we go.
Here they come, soon to meet our thunder. Adam boys, give her the gun, give her the gun. Down we dive, starting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, or we're down in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen,